Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new, Tehran, Iran got it this week, review. How are you doing? Happy Fragrant Friday to you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I really appreciate you checking out this episode, and of course, always supporting my channel. You've seen the title and the description, so you know that this, of course, is none other than Parfums de Marly Oajan. I am super excited on many, many levels to review this one. I have really enjoyed wearing this one, and I have kept just a little tiny bit left to spray at the very end. Hopefully I'll have enough. And what I did to save it was for a few days I rocked Oud Mood by Lattafa. So that's been my scent of the day the last couple of days because I was saving this. And man, I really enjoy Oud Mood by Lattafa. That is just a fantastic fragrance. And boy, does it project and last. Wow. So this one is interesting because I have reviewed two fragrances from this house. So if you don't know, this house is held in high regard among frag heads across the globe. It is a niche company, which all that means to you, if you don't know, is that it's high quality in theory, but number one is it's ultra expensive. And so it is a prestigious brand. And yours truly reviewed two, Leighton and Herod. I don't even think I'm going to put the cards up in your upper right. In fact, I know I'm not, because I don't know if I want you to go back and watch it, because I actually gave Dark Temptation by Axe a higher rating. And then I wonder why I'm still a small channel, you know? But I don't like Herod and Leighton as much as you guys do. I really wished that I did. I feel bad. I feel like I'm not getting something, you know? I don't get it. So unfortunately, I didn't like those as much as you guys do. They are wildly popular, and it just didn't really jump out for me. And so I thought, oh no, is this going to be another situation? And I'll just tell you right now, it is not. So this is easily my favorite Parfums de Marly that I have tried so far. Now this is my third, of course, but I am very happy that I really liked this one a lot. And so I'll just go ahead and tell you now that I'm going to give this a quite high rating. And you might say to yourself, if you watch me each week, well, you know, the last month or so, he's really been giving out high ratings. Forgive me for that. It's just that I think here's what I think happened. I think Dr. Goo over at Locked Sense, right, sent me the package, sent me these samples that I've worked on for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. I think he knows my taste and what I like, and I think he crafted he made good decisions regarding which samples he sent me. So keep in mind that it's not that I'm just getting to be a softie here on this channel. It's just that he knew really which ones to send that I would probably end up liking, and I have. So this one is another one that's going to get a high rating. I have really, really enjoyed wearing this, and I think I'm almost relieved that I actually like a Parfums de Marly. So let's talk about the house a little bit. Whenever you get a bottle of theirs, I'll have pictures up in post for you to see. But when you get a bottle, it always has, I think it's two, but it's horses. And so the main backdrop, it's kind of like Hermes, right? Which looks like Hermes, Hermes. It's almost like that house that they have a nod and a wink and an homage and an ode to the tradition equestrian studies, so of horses. And so this one is no different. You see, I think it's two horses, but you get my point that this house always seems to have a connection with their history, which is to celebrate the horse, and this is no different. Okay, so that is the house. Let's get actually to the name. I'm going to go ahead and say this is Oajan, and I'm going to say Oajan, and I'll tell you why quickly now, but then I'll also add more detail later. There are two nods here. There are two winks to this. This is a 2013 release. And it's part of a collection that highlights purebred Arabian breeds. And you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to be looking down at my lower right a fair amount because I've got tons of notes here. So this is a collection. This is part of a collection that focuses or showcases purebred Arabian breeds, and so the names all have that. So on the one hand, this is a purebred Arabian breed, Oajan. Now it's also a town, a village in the past. And so what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to give you the review of the fragrance that I typically do. And then if you guys follow me each week, you know I'm a huge fan of talking about nomenclature. But it's going to be too, I think, in-depth for a lot of people. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get to the review now. And then I will, at the end, either as a bonus feature or just in the second half of this episode, I'm going to go into a lot more detail with maps and history and things like that because I absolutely love that. Some of you like that, some of you don't. So you know what? I'll give you the review now of the actual fragrance, and then if you really enjoy that, please go to the end. In fact, I'll mark it with a chapter. How's that in the description? And we'll call it even, because I'm super excited about that as well. So let's just get to the fragrance. You're gonna get this. Really is cinnamon honey apple pie. I mean, I can list everything, but really, you know what? For me, and you might disagree if you've had this. For me, this is all about the opening, the top notes. I'm getting cinnamon. The osmanthus, of course, is there to give it kind of an apricot feel, but really, it must be the vanilla later because you get more of an apple. To be honest, there's an apricot tinge to it, but it's really focused more on apple, and that might be some of the notes coming in later. But it's a very, very strong cinnamon and honey. So you guys know this is interesting because I'm lukewarm on honey usually, at least on for women's perfumes, oftentimes. But I love cinnamon, and so I'll tell you right now. At least on the guy's side, this is the best honey that I have tried so far. I tend to be, again, vanilla and honey. It's you better really impress me, and they have here, absolutely. And then of course I already like cinnamon anyway, and so this one really is a cinnamon apple pie, gourmand. And I don't see it really, developing too much beyond that. So I think one thing you'd want to consider right off the bat is if you don't like gourmands, and if you don't know what that is, gourmands is a class of fragrance that refers to, food-like, or they will smell like food, then you won't like this one. I like gourmands. And I like I don't mind that it's a very syrupy, it's honey. So of course it's going to be, I don't mind those smells or fragrances or scents at all. In fact, I like them. So the cinnamon here is a huge plus for me. And then you get in the dry down, you get some tonka and vanilla. And again, that really, whatever you do, I think it's the apple will dominate over the apricot as far as the fruit, because it really is. Yep, it's a syrupy honey apple pie, and that's cinnamon apple pie. And that's what it is. And for me personally, it stays that way, and I like it. It certainly is opulent, and it certainly has a regal quality to it. No doubt about that. So those are the notes, and that's what it smells like. So the bottom line is, if you do not like gourmands, you will not like this. Okay, so let's get to some more good news for me, at least. The projection, the longevity, and the sillage are just great. So this is a EDP. This is a EDT. This is an EDP. Excuse me, Eau de Parfum, and it functions like one. Great longevity, great projection, great sillage. So you're going to get things like 8 to 10 hours in terms of longevity. You will easily get a work shift out of this, no problems. In fact, more than that, but easily. So I'm very happy with that. And then the projection is very, very good, to the point that I would also be careful with wearing this in the office. This is definitely more for the evening, but it's wonderful. And so the projection is about an arm's length away for about 6 hours, actually. And then it starts to kind of settled down a little bit, but it's really outstanding. And then sillage coming in out of rooms, leaving a scent trail behind you. You will get noticed, and people will ask you what you're wearing, no doubt. So I would say the first 4 to 5 to even 6 hours, you'll leave a scent trail, and people will ask you. I like that, and I think it's wonderful. I would just be careful, as I said, about wearing this to the office, or if you're in a fragrance neutral environment. So I'm very happy with that. The Parfumé here is, I think this is my first time, with this Parfumé, and it is Shaya. It's Shaya Mala, Shyamala. In fact, I'll just put it in a ticker. Shyamala Maison Dieu is the Parfumé, and so it's Shyamala, and then the last name is Maisondieu, Maison Dieu, and I think this is my first time with a fragrance from this perfumer or Parfumé. So really enjoy the originality factor and the gourmand factor here. So I would like to know more. So let's get down to age and gender. When it comes to gender, I think this is quite easy. It's for men and women. It's marketed as unisex. This is a unisex fragrance. So if we have ultra feminine, unisex, and then over here ultra masculine, this one definitely falls right here. It's right in it is unisex but leans masculine. It's got the vanilla, it's got the osmanthus. Those things are going to lend it. A woman could pull this off, of course. If it smells like, honey, cinnamon, apple pie, anyone could. But a woman could definitely wear this one. And I would say that this is probably going to be like I'll say a 60-40 split, I think. And people who actually own this and wear it and wanted it, purchased it. And I'm going to say 60% guys and 40% will be ladies, but yeah, well, obviously anyone can pull this off. It goes without saying. Age is going to be a little tougher. I don't know that I see too many college guys rocking this juice, so I'm going to say 25 and up. It does have kind of an austere, opulent, regal, and plus a touch to it. And then plus, as I've always said with niche fragrances, by process of elimination, most of us, when we were 24 or younger, could not afford niche fragrances anyway. So by process of elimination, most people wearing this who own it and bought it will be 25 and up. So I'll go 25 and up on this. This is another one that's not for the meek. It's certainly, so it's sophisticated. It's I agree with the adjective that is often used for this one, which is opulent. I wholeheartedly agree with that. This is an easy one as far as seasons. This is definitely a fall-winter, and then very early spring. I can't say that I would necessarily, reach for this in the summer, as I do see it. I could see it getting cloying in the heat. So that seems to be a tendency lately. I've had a lot of these fall, winter, early spring fragrances, and this one is no exception. So when it comes to event, I do think this one would be. It's clearly for the evening first. It's clearly a night fragrance. Whether it be romantic night out, night in, social event, it could be anything. It's another one that's perfect for casual wear or a suit. I love that about this fragrance. But I would say if you did you could wear this to the office, but you would want to be very careful and go easy on the trigger. I love the fact that it does so well, though, when coming in and out of the outdoors. So for those of you who are outside a fair amount and are frustrated that your fragrance goes away quite easily, that certainly won't be the case here. So very happy with all of that, actually. So good news abounds. As I said, it really is. It's my favorite. It's easily my favorite fragrance from this house thus far, and it is the best honey fragrance that I have, on the guy's side, that I have ever smelled. It's not a honey-based but it is really unique because you know what I like about it? Right when you get into the cinnamon and the apple and you're thinking, okay, well, that's just the traditional gourmand, then the osmanthus kicks in. And so it gives it this kind of, fruity flavor that, or I guess apricot flavor that I really like, that takes it away from just the, the vanilla and the cinnamon and, the amber, so the benzoin and things like that. This is going to me, with the tonka and the osmanthus, I feel like the tonka and the osmanthus really help it separate itself from the pack. And so there you have it when it comes to the normal categories that I go over. So I'm going to give this, I have no way, nothing else to do but to give this one a 5 out of 5 sprays. As I said earlier, I apologize if I sound like a broken record because I've been dishing out a lot of 5s lately. I just think Dr. Goo, he mentioned, I give him a lot of credit because when we first started talking and doing the live chats, he told me that he had watched my channel a fair amount before, and he really means it because he has watched a lot of episodes. He really knows my tastes and what I tend to gravitate toward. So when he sent me this package, these are all pretty much, almost all have been home runs. So there's really nothing I can do but to give this one a 5 out of 5 sprays. If you follow my channel each week, you know that I do give an elusive bonus TCG, that cologne guy spray. So I do give 6 out of 5. This one doesn't merit that for 2 reasons. Number one, it is a gourmand. It's just something that I love, but I could absolutely see how another reviewer would say, okay, this is kind of like a cherry cough syrup mess. I would disagree, of course, but it does. I could at least understand, especially if they just don't like gourmands. You guys know I don't really care for a lot of barbershop fragrances, and so to each his or her own, right? There is a certain level of subjectivity to this, so I can see that. But me personally, I'm going to give it a 5. I can't say that it has universal appeal. I can't say that it's like an all-time heavy hitter classic. And then the other thing I would say to take off some that keeps it from getting the elusive 6 is it does. It's like what, $290 or $280 or something. Come on. This fragrance definitely should be had in discounters for under $200. Anything over $200, I would not pay for that. And shame, that's a slap on the wrist to the house for charging that much. But then again, hey, if people out there are willing to pay it, why not? 120. This is a sample, of course. You know that, but the bottle is 125 milliliter, 4.2 ounce, and again, it is an EDP 2013. This is an amber. It's part of a collection, and I'm gonna give this again a 5 out of 5. It just doesn't quite make it to the elusive 6. So I'll do, if I have enough, I'm gonna do 1 on each side of the neck, 1 on each wrist, and 1 on. Let's do back of the neck today. For I finally found a Parfums de Marly that I actually like, and so I'm thrilled, and I'm not horsing around. Okay, all right, sorry about that. I had to do a dad joke. Boom. Oh yeah, I do. All right. Boom. Boom. See? Boom. Boom. Dang. Man, that is this room. I'm in the kitchen, and this room smells like, a summer like apple pie with some vanilla ice cream, syrupy cinnamon, gooey all over the pie. It smells divine, and it smells delicious, actually. And so I personally really like that about this fragrance. 5 out of 5 sprays. For this fragrance, what I'm going to do, and stick around for the bonus feature because I'm going to go into more detail about the history of the name. I really enjoy doing that. If that's not your thing, well then just stop the episode, and thanks for watching. Okay, so there's nothing left for me to say but, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Okay, so welcome to the bonus feature. This is going to be a lesson. We are going to delve fully into geekdom here because I have a lot to go over. Remember I told you at the beginning of the episode that I said Oajan, because it is Oajan, and that is a purebred Arabian breed. So if it looks like I'm not really sure what I'm talking about because I have notes, it's because I don't. I'm not really, an all-knower of horses. But then again, I don't pretend to be. So the other reason why this is called this, though, is interesting because the name itself is, I called it Oajan because in Persian it is Ojan, so it's not Oa, it's Ojan, so that's Oajan or Ojan. And so that's interesting, right? Because let's take a look at some of the history here. If that is Persian, so you guys know the Persian Empire. Actually, one of the things I love to do, a hobby of mine, is as random as this is watching Iranian movies. I love that. So first of all, I know a lot of you watch me over in the British Isles, and so I don't know if you guys have this problem, but here in the U.S., it's kind of an age difference, and maybe even I think it's more of an age, like a generational difference. I'm just going to go ahead and say I don't say Iran. I know I'm supposed to say Iran. I still say Iran. I mean, it's marking my age. I just don't care. Iran sounds to me. I like Iran. Okay. Anyway, but you will hear both. So it refers, of course, to Persia. So in Iran, they speak Persian. Many people, at least here, oftentimes think that they speak Arabic, but they do not. They speak Persian. It's a fascinating language. And that's going to be relevant here because we're getting back into the Persian Empire and, of course, with its connection to horses. So there's a lot to say here. So I'm going to put up in your top right, I will put up, in the top, right or left, depending on the angle and what's best for the episode. I'm going to put up a map, and then it shows Oajan it used to be, many centuries ago, the summer capital for the Mughals. And sometimes you'll see it Moghus, and sometimes you'll see it Mugh, or even just the Guls. So it's the Moguls or Muggles. I've said Muggles before because I've always seen it with the U. So there's a different spelling there. But this was their summer capital way, way back in the day, hundreds of years ago. And it is the village is located in the East Azerbaijan. So Iran borders Azerbaijan, right? And I'll have maps here. And in the East Azerbaijan province in Iran, the capital is Bostanabad. And Bostanabad was built, obviously Persian, but it's an Azerbaijani Persian-speaking area. So it's a bilingual community speaking both languages. So maybe even historically speaking, it might have been part of Azerbaijan, actually. I don't know. So Oajan, Ojan, was located in East Azerbaijan province, in modern-day Iran. Used to be Persia. Iran, and the capital is Bostanabad. Bostanabad was built on the old city of, you guessed it, Oajan. And Oajan is, you guessed it, where this breed was originated from. So there you have it. All right, this is referring to a village, whether it was a Mughal village a long time ago. Well, it was a Mughal village a long time ago. Then it was completely destroyed by the Persians. And now, at least in modern day Iran, it is part of the East Azerbaijan province of course, near the Azerbaijan border, you would guess. And it was the modern day name for it is Bostanabad. So what's interesting about that is it took me a long time to find the lineage about the horse I found okay, but it took me a long time to find this because Oajan as a village doesn't exist anymore. It's now Bostanabad because it was built by the Persians over the summer capital by the Mughals. So there you have it. There's a lot going on here. There's Persia. There's modern day Iran. You secretly want me to say modern day Iran, so I will just for you. There's Azerbaijan. There is horses. There is history. There's a ton going on. So this was really, really fun, and this was an ode certainly to the lineage, the horse, but also to the geographic location. So there you have it. There's a lot of history, maps, updates. I think I have everything listed that I wanted to say. I did so much work for this, and I just had so much fun with this one. I actually don't want the episode to end. That's always a good sign. And Dr. Gu, I really appreciate you including this one. It was so much fun. If nothing else, I finally have a Parfum de Marly that actually has a better rating than Dark Temptation by Axe. So if the haters out there, they can stop hating. Okay? So, third time was a charm. You guys have a great week. Take care. Thanks for sticking around.